The mission of Stoughton Hospital is to provide safe, quality health care with exceptional personalized service. We want to be your trusted resource for health information. It's time for Stoughton Hospital Health Talk. Here's Melanie Cole.
It isn't always easy to get and stay motivated to exercise, but if you can find a way to make it a part of your life, you can get all the benefits that working out has to offer. My guest today is Jennifer Mcphee. She's an exercise physiologist with Stoughton Hospital. Welcome to the show, Jennifer. So if somebody wants to just start an exercise program that has not been exercising previously, what do you tell them?
You know, I would encourage everybody to be exercising, first of all. So it's very easy to just get out and start walking. Walking, you can get the benefits of aerobic exercise from starting a walking program, and it can, somebody can start as easy as 5 minutes 3 times a day walking around their neighborhood and progressing that walking program to the recommended guidelines. The Surgeon General's report is 150 minutes per week of moderate intense activity. So that would be, I guess, a goal that somebody could start with on their own. If they have any limiting factors, orthopedic issues, then we would recommend having them see their physician before starting a more intense exercise program.
So then let's begin an exercise program. And what are some of the components you like people to know right off the bat they should consider?
When we talk about an exercise program, or for us prescribing an exercise prescription, there are 4 components of an aerobic exercise program. We look at frequency, intensity, time, and type. An easy way is we call it the FIT principle. So that's how we would start prescribing an exercise program. There's components besides just the aerobic exercise in and of itself. We want somebody to start with a warm-up, then do their aerobic exercise, do some stretching, do a cool down, and then maybe do some strength exercises. So when we talk about an exercise program, when we refer to aerobic exercise are activities that are going to use your large muscle groups, your large muscles, in a rhythmic manner, sustain that for a period of time. So those things are like running, walking, biking, stepping, dancing, swimming, those types of activities. But we want somebody to start out slowly. So when we talk about a warm-up, we want somebody warming up initially because that just helps to reduce the risk of, any risk with exercise. So preparing the body and preparing your heart, slowly dilating blood vessels, you raise that heart rate up, the blood pressure is going to increase slowly. But that gets your body and your heart ready for the exercise. So 3 to 5 minutes of a warm-up to start out, and that can be, doing the activity that you're doing. So if you're getting on a treadmill and you're going to walk, you can get on a treadmill, start out at a slower pace for that first 3 to 5 minutes, something that feels, fairly light, and then progress into a little higher intensity level for 30 to 60 minutes, and then on the back end, slowing down, again, reducing the workload on the heart, bringing the heart rates back down for a cool down, and then going into some stretching and then strength exercises.
So, Jennifer, where does strength exercises fit in, and what do you want people to know about them?
So when we talk about strength or resistance training, we want somebody to be looking at that. First of all, it doesn't replace aerobic exercise. So that 150 minutes that we talk about that the Surgeon General's report encourages, or the 30 to 60 minutes of aerobic exercise, that does not include your strength training or your resistance. But, our goal, like in cardiac rehab, is allowing somebody to maintain, as one gets older, to maintain an independent, active lifestyle. So that's, the first goal. And then it's really looking at somebody, assessing somebody's goals. Do they want to be, is it that they just want to be able to carry their groceries in, put their groceries away, put dishes away? We're going to start somebody at a little lighter intensity. 8 to 12 repetitions or 10 to 15 repetitions. But doing an activity where you are actually building that muscle. So the other component of strength training is you want to make sure that you allow for a day of rest in between. That allows the muscle to repair, and that's how you build muscle.
So then what about staying motivated and keep going and making a healthier lifestyle? That seems to be one of the biggest barriers or obstacles to exercise programs for people, Jennifer, is the motivation to do it. What do you tell people every day about that motivation?
Yeah, and you're right. It is. That is probably the hardest part for a lot of people. One thing we encourage is developing a habit. Statistics say it's 30 days to develop a habit. So trying to stick with it for at least 30 days is important. But everybody is different. So I talk with people and find out what's motivating to them. Is it that they need to vary their routine to avoid boredom? Or are they structured people that need to actually do it at the same time every day, do their exercise at the same time each day, every other day or 5 days a week, and really putting it in their calendar? It may be that somebody needs to challenge themselves to something, a new activity, to, again, kind of replace any boredom. So maybe it's, in the summer you sign up for a couple of local walks or events that get you motivated to stick with it. It may be that you find an exercise buddy. So it may be a friend, it may be a spouse, it may be your kids, but find somebody that you are going to establish a time to exercise with them. It's a little harder to say no if you're going to have to tell somebody else you're not going to exercise with them. So finding an exercise buddy is also helpful. Setting realistic goals, short and long-term goals, that's also helpful. Rewarding yourself. Maybe it's, okay, I really want to buy these new pair of shoes. Okay, so you're going to spend 3 weeks, walking. Reward yourself. Buy yourself those new pair of shoes. I think probably one of the biggest questions we're asked is, what's the best activity I should be doing? First of all, your heart doesn't know what it's doing for exercise. It knows it has to work harder. So finding an activity or an exercise that you enjoy is really important. Intervals can also make it more exciting for people. So varying the intensity of your exercise throughout the exercise period, that can make it more fun. Doing different activities, maybe that you want to bike, you want to run, you want to swim. All of those different activities also help to reduce workload on joints by allowing you to use different muscle groups. So that also helps to prevent injury and can prevent boredom. So those are just some of the reasons that I would say that can help people stick with their exercise program.
Well, and you've given such great reasons and so important. And when you mentioned a reward, some people reward themselves with food if they exercise. What do you tell them about? Yeah, what do you tell them about that? They say, well, I just walked a mile, so now I can stop and have that latte that's 10,000 calories. What do you tell people about that?
Yes. It's, a lot of it is education. So what people don't realize is if you really look at, how many calories, if, an average person at 150 pounds in a 30-minute period walking at a moderate pace is probably not going to burn more than 350 calories in that session. 350 calories doesn't go very far when you're rewarding yourself with food. 3,500 calories is equal to a pound. So when you think about how much activity it's going to take you to actually burn off a pound, sometimes just that in and of itself allows people to realize, wow, I'm going to have to exercise a lot to burn 3,500 calories just to take off a pound. It's not worth rewarding myself with food. So we generally, yes, recommend do not reward yourself with food. That's not the best reward and best outcome.
No, certainly not. And in just the last few minutes here, Jennifer, give your best advice for starting and keeping with an exercise program and why listeners should come to Stoughton Hospital for their care.
We have a great program, actually, here at the hospital. We have our cardiac rehab program, which is a insurance-based program based on different ways of how they're going to get into that. But also we have a preventative exercise program. And if somebody is interested, we have them give us a call. We will get in touch with their physicians and get a referral to get them started. But it's kind of a great program. They can come and we will put them actually on an EKG monitor so we can actually watch their heart rates and heart rhythms the first session that they exercise with us. And then we will get them started with an exercise program. And what comes with that appointment also is a free month here at our program, our cardiac rehab wellness center. And that would give them time to, get into an exercise program, get assistance from the staff, progressing their exercise, and then they can decide, do they want to take that information and exercise on their own or another facility, or they can stay and join that program and stay with that program as well. So it's kind of a nice program that we offer here through the hospital. And really I just encourage people, the benefits of exercise far outweigh any risk. The benefits, are so important for our health. So really it's, getting into that consistent aerobic exercise program, monitoring, intensities, making sure they're exercising at an appropriate level, warming up, cooling down, doing some flexibility and stretching, adding strength training, and just making sure you find something you like to do so you can stick with it.
Great advice. Such great information. You're so well spoken. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being with us today. You're listening to Stoughton Hospital Health Talk. And for more information, you can go to stoughtonhospital.com. That's stoughtonhospital.com. This is Melanie Cole. Thanks so much for listening.